Welcome, writers. Let's move on to chapter 3, which we are going to go over characters. Now, guys, creating a character is exactly like creating a real person. It takes time, and it's okay that it takes time. It could take you weeks or months to formulate the perfect main character. Now, if you don't know exactly where to start, I recommend picking a main character's gender first. And I would recommend picking the gender that you identify with most. Then you move on to their personality. What does your main character like to eat? What do they like to do for fun? What do they constitute as horrible? What do they like to do on a daily basis? I mean, and you can even go in depth and find out what positions they sleep in at night. Now, I know that some of this probably sounds a little extreme, but trust me, guys, it is imperative that you get to know your MC as intimately as possible. The more in sync you are with your main character, the easier it's going to be to write their dialogue and to plot their storyline. Now, things will actually get real when you give them a name. Now, this is also, again, going to be something that might come to you instantly, or you might want to actually take a poll on the internet. Whatever your creative process is, follow it. But regardless of your process, once you get that name to your main character, it's going to be truly as if they came to life. Now, it's completely okay, guys, to spend maybe like an hour or hell, even a couple of days inside the mind of your main character. Now, I do suggest that you guys actually keep notes on what they look like and like what their goals are, what their backstory is. Do they have siblings? What were their parents like? What's their future going to be, if you can even get that far? I did the same thing for my books. I went as far as naming, keeping track of like the main character, their names of their kids, things like that. I had to keep track of descriptions because worst thing is you don't want to give your character, your main character description in the beginning, and then throughout the book, obviously you're going to mention certain things as, you know, he tossed his brown hair to the side, or her blue eyes shined with envy, something such as that with your main character. Obviously you're going to continue to mention their description in the book sometimes, and you don't want to be wrong. So you want to make sure that you keep accurate track of their background, some of their, obviously their descriptions and things such as that. Because again, especially with the background, you're going to need to refer back to that sometimes when you're creating your character and writing your story, and it's going to be so easy just to have it handy for you. Now, after you find out what your main character loves, you need to find out who your main character loves. Now, guys, this doesn't necessarily mean that they need to have a love interest. No, I'm talking about their best friend, their siblings, their parents, people in their lives that mean something to them. If your main character is a loner, that's okay. Then you don't need to create too much of that, but you do need to create other people in the book. So once you find out who they love, you can start with the best friend of this person. If you don't want to give this person a love interest, start with their best friend. Is that person male or female? And then move on to forming their personality and their history just as you did the main character. Follow the same process and spend some time in their shoes, trying to find out their name, what they like, what they do, what their backstory is, and how they correlate to your main character. So guys, as I said in the other video, take time to actually think what you want to happen in your storyline. Do the same thing for your character. You want to put as much concentration and focus on them as you did your storyline. So buy a journal, or you don't have to, actually just start something up, a Word document in your actual computer, and formulate your main character. Like I said, get to know them as much as possible. Even for me, I would just, when I would grocery shop by myself, I would think, what would Regina buy? Oh, Regina doesn't like Pringles, you know, or something like that. You know, Regina wouldn't look at that ragtag tabloid magazine, things like that. just get into their mind, crawl in there for a little bit. Because when it comes time to writing their dialogue and write their storyline of where you want them to go, it will come much easier. Because the more that you know them, the more it's going to catapult you into making great dramatic decisions for them. And I swear, guys, when I was writing my third book in my trilogy for my Dellengrad trilogy, the actual characters, I swear to you, it was like they were in my head telling me what they wanted to happen to them. And so I did it. I wrote what I thought was fitting to their strength or to their weaknesses as a character. And so like I said, guys, you just can't go wrong when you actually know the people that you're writing about. You are basically playing God and creating these people out of nothing, and you are giving them life, backstories, present times, and hopefully futures, if you decide to kill them off. So you need to take as much time and energy in giving them this past history as possible. Again, the more real you make them, the more real they are going to be to the audience. Now, sometimes, guys, who cares if you don't actually use the backstory for one of these characters? It doesn't matter if you implement it in your work or not. The important thing is you, as the writer, need to know these people in order to actually get the dialogue and the storyline proper. So again, don't worry if you don't use all of this information about your character, because again, most of it is not necessary. It's just extra little nonsense that just kind of helps you get to know this person. All right, writers, thank you so much for watching this video. Chapter 4 will cover storyline, and Chapter 5, I will answer some of your questions regarding writing. Now, I promise these videos will be on time every Friday, so if you like the video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe and check out my playlist on how to write and publish your novel for more videos, as well as check out my playlist to listen to the music that I listen to when I write my books. And thank you all dearly for your support, and go out there and get to writing. Bye, guys.